hot. Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Let's talk about taking stock in your life, my life. I'm going to take stock in my life. You take stock in your life, as well as the financial lifeline exercise. We're looking at financial goals this month in the Get Your Goals Annual Challenge. Each month we're focusing on a different area and aspect of our life. And this month we're focusing on financial goals, our financial health, our financial well-being. And part of that, and one of my favorite tools, we've talked about it dozens of times, is the Lifeline exercise. The exercise, just like a timeline in school and in history class, where you start out with a date and then another date. And I like to start the year I was born, and then I just do a line continuing because I don't plan on leaving the planet anytime soon. And I put milestones and different events of my life on that timeline. And then I look at each different area and aspect of my life, and I talk and ask myself, well, how did this impact me financially, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually? Those are the ones we've done so far. And then this month we're doing financially, how did this impact me? And so you can see on this side, this is an old one that I haven't used since 2020, but it's the right size to use for demonstrative purposes. But then I do each of these actually in a different color. Green happens to be the color I do financial in, but each one has a color, and then I map it out on my bigger Lifeline timeline, and I check in with myself, and I use it as a self-evaluation, self-awareness tool to say, okay, I see this event happened. I had my son or something, or I had my daughter, or I got a job or lost a job or graduated from college, or had some health challenges, had a sudden cardiac arrest. That's a big one. Had a lot of impact on different areas and aspects of my life, both physically, mentally, spiritually, financially, etc. So how do we go about doing that? If you have never done a Lifeline for yourself, in Guide 17 of our Get Your Goals Annual Challenge, Guide 17 is a write-up for each day's challenge, except for January. I didn't start doing it until February 1st because I'm using ChatGPT to play with and create that content. So some of it's pretty rough. But it usually has, and it happens to have today, a step-by-step under day 172 description of how to create your own Lifeline. And I take it a step further and add it to each area and aspect of the life framework that I use, which is a 9-part life framework. Everybody's different. You do what works for you. This has worked for me. Actually, it was 7 parts until 2021. And following the pandemic, there was all kinds of craziness going on. So I actually had a coach in the area of communication and confidence with respect to core skills and core values. And so I added those to the life framework that I use now. And I do it every year because I want to have legacy goals in those areas as well as annual goals in those areas. And so I break them down into annual and then little chunks along the way, up to and including daily activities and actions I can take to move me toward those goals. And that's why this is a fun challenge this year. I want to share what I'm actually doing, what actually works for me. Our idiom for today was, of course, since we started with that, take stock in your life. And how does that apply to growing and building and supersizing our business? The truth is, if we're building and growing a business, our business will only become as good or grow as fast as we do unless we're confident enough to step aside, step out of the way, and let other people that are better at different things handle things for us. But it still is driven by our vision, our purpose, our core values to create what it is that we want to see in the world. So we talked about that today. I think it's a great idiom. It also means counting inventory and taking stock. So I've had decades of experience doing that in different types of businesses and different industries. And it's a little bit different for every industry and every business, just like everything else is. That's why I like idioms. What they mean to me isn't necessarily what they mean to you. I'm not arrogant enough to think that my way of thinking is the only way of thinking. That's absolutely outrageous and ridiculous. But I do like to challenge myself and challenge others to think about what things mean to them and the experiences they've had with a particular idiom or saying or expression or experiences, and then how that might impact how they behave and interact with other human beings, right? Because our life is all about our relationships and how we interact and how we show up in the world, the example we set or the warning that we set based on the type of behavior that we're exhibiting at any given moment. So if you need help with anything, if you've got any questions about offline or online businesses, hit me up. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow. Have a terrific day.